Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we're looking at an advanced Blurb module here today, and we're using the great DiviFlash plugin to build this. Now, DiviFlash comes with 23 Divi modules, and it's an absolutely awesome addition to the Divi theme. This Blurb module is like a regular Divi Blurb module on steroids. So let's take a look at it and we'll build something with it. So I'm going to enable my visual builder. And let's just delete the thing we've got here. All the ones with the purple icons here are the ones that you get with the DiviFlash. I'm going to use the advanced blurb today. Like any other blurb module, you can put in a title and a subtitle. I haven't got any content, so let's grab a bit from lipsum.com here, a bit of dummy content. Now you can add a badge if you want to, a little badge with text. I'm going to leave that. Here's an addition as well, you can add a button. So it's sort of a blurb and a call to action module. Put a dummy link in there. Best practice as usual. If you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site, open it in a new tab so your site stays open. Now here we can add an image and icon. I'm going to use an icon. And just find the one I used before is fine. Now you can put it inside the content area, which is fine, or outside the content area. Now if you put it outside the content area, you get to position it top, left, which is standard for a regular blurb module, but you can also position it right, which is not standard, and bottom, which is great. But for this, I'm going to leave it inside. Obviously you can align it where you want to. Now here's where things get interesting. You can give the items an order if you want to. Just flip the enable order, and the higher the number, the lower down it is. So image, let's start with our title. We'll leave that at 0. I'm going to put that on the top. I'll give it the lowest number at least. Subtitle, I want that to be just above the button, so I want the button to be on the bottom. There we go, it is on the bottom anyway. Let's put our subtitle just behind it. There we go. I'll pop this one up a little bit more so it's a higher number. Content can stay where it is. Yeah, let's just leave it like that. So we've got title, icon, content, subtitle, and then button. Of course, this is all up to you. Now if you want to link the whole module to something apart from the button, you can link that separately. This is where you'd put your link right here. Same best practices apply. Background, we've got the standard color, gradient, image or video. Let's pop a gradient in there. And let's just separate it a little bit. Give it a twist. That'll do. Now if you add an image, you can add an image and a gradient and blend them like you can with other modules and get some great effects that way. I'm going to leave mine pretty simple like that. Let's pop over to our design tab now. Now here's an interesting one. You've got a z-index. So what a z-index, for anybody that doesn't know, it pulls things forward or backwards. Higher z-index number means something will be on top of something with a lower number. For instance, if that icon's got a z-index of 20 and the content has a z-index of 10, the icon will appear on top of the content, and you can use negative margins to push them on top of each other and decide which one you want to have on top. But I'm going to leave mine just as it is because I'm not going to have anything merging on top of anything else. Image, we don't have an image, so I can leave this one alone. Now here's the content area. Content area alignment. I'm going to pop everything into the middle. As you can see, that's done that. You can give it a separate background color, gradient or image if you want to. Again, I'm going to leave mine just like that. I might change things on the title and subtitle in a minute. We've got border styles, pretty standard like any other Divi module. I don't want to add any box shadow. Now here's our title. Let's give it a background color. Of course you can't see it. I'm going to take the opacity down. I'm going to change that title color obviously so we can see it on our background. I'm going to put my opacity to about 50% so we can see some through it. And we will be changing some padding and spacing in a minute. Let's go on down and make our title. Let's make it white so we can see it. I'm going to make it capitalized and perhaps make it a little bit bigger. And we'll go down a little bit further. And you can give your title a border if you want to as well. I'm going to give it a little border top and bottom, and it'll actually put a border top and bottom down here. So top, let's give it 2 pixels. We'll make it white. You can't see it on the white background at the moment, but you will when I add padding. And we'll do for the same for the bottom. There we go. Okay. Subtitle. Again, let's make all this text at least light in color so we can see it. And I'll use the same background color on the subtitle. And again, we'll make that white. We can do custom padding on there where we need to. And again, let's give it a little border top and bottom. Let's make it short. Let's make it 1 pixel for this. And on the bottom. Of course, you can do them all at once. Just the top, just the right, just the bottom, just the left. So we've got a little border on both those. Great. Moving on down. Here's our content. I don't actually want to put any background behind there, but I do want to make it light so we can read what's going on. That's great. Content style, you can give it a separate background color and borders if you want to. I don't think we need any more borders or background colors on there. We're not using a badge. And we're not using a badge font. I seem to have missed out the icon. Let's go back up to the top to image and icon. There we go. Icon. And I'm going to make that white. Well, let's make it a little bit bigger. And again, I am going to put a background color on this one. And again, I'll pull the opacity down a bit. Fantastic. Great. Let's shut that up and go back down to where we were. Content style, we've done that. Badge, no badge. Button. Like any other button, you can give it colors and things, but you've actually got an option for a gradient here. But I'm going to make my button boring old black, and we'll take the opacity down. To set a hover state for your button, hit the little arrow here, and you can choose whatever color you want for the hover state by hitting the little arrow right there. Make sure that the desktop's got the correct state that you want it on. So we've got desktop and hover color. That's fine. Of course, I want to pop my button into the middle. Button font's absolutely fine as it is. I will make it a lighter color so we can actually see it. Let's pop this back to desktop state so it's the dark color. Okay, everything else there I'm going to leave just as it is. Now moving on down, here's where it gets interesting. Custom spacing. Okay, the wrapper is the whole thing. So let's give it, say, 30 pixels all around. And of course this is styling, so it's entirely up to you. But it just does give you an idea of why it's called an advanced blurb module. Now here's our image or icon wrapper margins. Let's separate it by We'll give it a margin top of 20. And let's do similar on the bottom. I'll hit the chain. There we go. And I want to give it a bit of padding so the icon's within the background there. So let's probably do the same. There we go. So its own little block there. Try saying that. Okay, let's move on down. We've got our button wrapper right here. Margin is going to give it space, so let's give it 20 pixels on the top just to push it down from our subtitle there. Okay, that's great. Now if we pop back up, let's go to the actual content itself. Now the title margin, the actual margin's fine, but I want to add a bit of padding to the top so it's more central. Try 10. Yeah, that's fine. Great. Subtitle, I want to do something similar to that as well. Yep, that works fine too. Now here's the content. I'm happy with it on the top. I want a bit more space on the bottom. There we go. And button, well, it's where we want it, but I want it sort of a lot fatter, if you will, than that. So I'm going to give it, say, 15 pixels left and right. Same with everything else. I'm just putting in the 15, it's putting in the pics for me. Hit the chain, it'll do the opposite side. And let's say 25 left and right. There we go. That looks like a nice looking button there. So we're pretty much there. And like I say, that's pretty interesting stuff. Sizing, don't need to touch that. Spacing, don't need to touch that. We'll pop a little box shadow in there just to lift it off the page a little bit. Let's just go back to our background and adjust the angle of our gradient there. There we go. It doesn't have to be exact, but something like that. Let's save our changes and exit the visual builder. And there we go. That's a nice looking little blur module. I like the idea of being able to put the icon or image wherever you want within it and changing everything around in the order that you want it. There's our little button. When we hover over it, it's going to change color there. So that is a really nice little module, and there's plenty of them. Watch the playlist below if you want to check out any other demos for this particular plugin. Once again, this is the DiviFlash plugin, and you can find the URL below the video. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.